This is Bridge with Steve. Today we're going to wrap up the topic of doubles. Previously we've discussed takeout doubles and negative doubles at length. There are videos available in the Bridge with Steven series on each of those topics. Today what we're going to talk about is doubles considered collectively. I'm fond of saying that when we're at the bridge table and we pull out that little red X, or if we're at home and we're speaking, we don't say penalty double or support double or takeout double. It just says double. And partner is expected to know what our double means and what is expected of partner in response. So we're going to find out how to do that now. What does partner's double signify? What is partner saying and what is expected of you? Is the double artificial and therefore forcing? In other words, it's conventional. Or is it intended for penalty and partner expects us to pass? The meaning of a double is contextual. What seat was the double made in? What bids preceded it? That's how we'll understand what the meaning of a double is. Now, when I say seat, I'm talking, I'm using the word to mean that opener is first seat. Opener may be, there may be two passes before somebody opens, and you might call that a third seat opening bid, and I would too. But for this context, when I say first seat, I'm talking about opener. So if there's two passes and third seat opens, I'm calling that first seat, and if the next player doubles, I'm calling that a second seat double. Okay, so let's see how context enables us to determine what a double means. This is a second seat double. It's a takeout double. One spade double. We're going to talk about those again a little bit. We're going to gloss over them. This is a third seat double. This is responder's double. That's the negative double. And once again, we'll be talking about that a little bit. This is called a balancing double. It follows two passes and is made in the seat that had you passed, the auction would have ended. Balancing double. Okay, and we'll talk about that right here. And this is what's called a reopening double. Opener has bid one heart. Left-hand opponent is overcalled a spade. This has been followed by two passes, and now opener makes a double. This is the reopening double, which we'll discuss here, and that functions more or less like a takeout double, even though you bid a suit. Now, here's a different second seat double. One no trump double. The difference is this is one spade, this is one no trump. This bid has various meanings depending on your partnership understanding. Some people use this bid to show that they would have opened one no trump themselves if their right-hand opponent hadn't done that first. And then there are a lot of systems for interfering with no trump or the double will signify a single suited or double suited hand. Now suppose the auction goes like this. Your partner's open a no trump. Right-hand opponent has overcalled two clubs. Your double right here functions as statement. That's a stolen bid double. In most people's systems. And it's the no trump that allows us to understand that. Had this been one heart followed by two clubs, this double would be a negative double instead. That would be this double. Now, here's another four-seat double. This was the first four-seat double that we looked at, the balancing double. This one's the responsive double. Left-hand opponent has bid a diamond. Partner has made a takeout double. Right-hand opponent has bid two diamonds, raised his partner, and now we make a double. That's a fourth-seat double that, in this case, would show both majors. And showing no preference for one over the other, asking partner to make the decision. And now here's another fifth-seat double. This is another double made by opener, just like this one up here. But this is the one we're going to call a support double. You've opened the bidding a club, your left-hand opponent has passed, partners bid a heart or a spade, let's say a heart this time. Now, if right-hand opponent comes in with one spade, for example, then a double by us shows three-card support for partners' hearts. That's the support double. So how can we tell all these apart? If it's a four-seat double and it's preceded by two passes, it's a balancing double. If it's a four-seat double and it's preceded by left-hand opponent and right-hand opponent bidding and raising a suit, then it's a responsive double. Here's another double. This one's the strong double. We'll be talking about that a little bit too. Right-hand opponent has opened a club. You've made what sounds like a takeout double at the time you made it. Left-hand opponent has passed. Partner has named his or her favorite suit, which is one spade. followed by a pass. Now when it comes back to you, rather than passing yourself or raising the spades, which is what we would normally do with a takeout double, what does it mean when we bid a new suit? 2 hearts. Well, what it means is that we had a hand that was too strong to overcall. We'll talk about that double in a moment too. And finally, here's a kind of an interesting one. Imagine an auction like this. The bidding was 1 spade, responder jumps to 4 no trump Blackwood, and now you get interference. One of the opponents bids 5 clubs. Well, that might have been your bid to show some number of key cards or aces. Well, if you play the Dopey system, and Dopey is an acronym for double 0, pass 1. A double at this point would show 0, whatever that means in your system. So if you're playing the original Blackwood, it would show 0 aces. Okay, now let's look at these doubles a little bit individually. Takeout doubles. Generally, we play them through 4 hearts, meaning that a double of a bid higher than 4 hearts, 4 spades or higher, would be for penalty and not for takeout. They're usually 2nd, 4th, or 6th seat doubles. So, for example, it would be a 2nd seat double if it went like this, 1 spade double, but it could also be 1 spade, pass, 1 no trump double. That would be a 4th seat double, and it's also a takeout double. These bids show opening straight, counting dummy points. We give ourselves credit for shortness because we know we're going to find a fit. We know that our short suit, which is the opponent's long suit, is going to be useful shortness. So we have shortness in their suit and support for all unbid suits. This double always shows 2 or 3 suits, depending on how many suits the opponents have bid. Negative doubles. These are through 3 spades, the way I play it. They're 3rd seat doubles. They look like this, once again. Partner is opened in a suit at the 1 level. Right-hand opponent is overcalled at the 1, 2, or 3 level in a different suit. And now we make a double in the 3rd seat. We can have as few as 6 points to make this bid if a partner can name our implied suit at the 1 level. And this bid shows either 2 suits or just 1 major suit. So whereas the takeout double showed 2 or 3 suits, this bid shows 1 or 2 suits. And if you want to know which suits are being shown, I recommend that you look at the negative double video. Now, balancing doubles. That's this one here. Left-hand opponent has opened, and that's followed by 2 passes, and we make a double. So this is a 4th seat double. It can be a 6th seat double if both opponents have bid, for example, and they've been followed by 2 passes, and you want to keep the bidding alive, you can make it in 6th seat. This hand shows as few as 10 points, and it follows 2 passes. So once again, this is what it looks like. This is the double you may have heard people say you get to borrow 3 points from your partner. You're opening, or actually you're doubling with less than an opening hand. And when you make a bid in the balancing seat, you can generally be a little bit lighter, and partner needs to be sensitive to that. Okay, reopening doubles. That's this one here. You've opened the bidding, you've been overcalled, followed by 2 passes, and you're just not willing to let the auction die, so you make a double asking for partner to help. It functions as a delayed takeout double. We often have 5-3, 3-2 shape with a doubleton and overcaller suit. So for example, you pick up a hand with 3 spades, 5 hearts, 3 diamonds, and 2 clubs, doubleton and clubs. Open the bidding 1 heart with your 5-card heart suit. Left-hand opponent bids 2 clubs, pass, pass. Now I don't want to let the bidding die. I have 3-card support for your spades if you have 4 or more. I have 3-card support for your diamonds if you have 4 or more. And I can tolerate you raising my hearts with only doubleton support, because we're going to play any of those contracts at the 2 level. And another time when this reopening double comes into play is in the so-called BOPP, or BOP auctions, and that would be this pattern: bid, overcall, pass, pass. Partner may have some holding in spades and been forced to pass, could not make a double in that position because it would be a negative double, could not make a penalty double, that is, and wants you to make the double for him or her. You can sense that if you happen to be short in spades, you might get a sense that partner is long in spades and is hoping for you to protect him or her with a double. Now let's talk about the strong double. Like the takeout double, it's second or fourth seat, and it resembles the takeout double, but it's made with a hand too strong to, this should say, too strong to overcall. Overcalls have a range. I commonly play 8 to 16. If I pick up a hand with 18 or 20 points and my right-hand opponent is open to bidding, I'm too strong to overcall. If I overcall, we're very likely to miss a game. So what I have to do instead is double. Then when the bidding comes back around to me, I do something that I never do when I make a takeout double, and that is I change partner's choice. That was what we discussed right here. Partner, we made what sounded like a takeout double after a club. Partner chose spades, and we chose hearts. Well, that's not a takeout double, that's a strong double. Just one more thing to say about the strong double. Sometimes a balancing double, this bid right here, is made in preparation of making a no-trump call. Because a one no-trump bid in this position generally shows something like 11 or 12 to 14 or 15 points. And with a full no-trump hand, something more like 16 or 17 points, you're going to double first and then bid no-trump. So that could be considered kind of a strong double too. Too strong to bid no-trump. Responsive doubles, that's this pattern, right here. Through three spades, they're four-seat doubles. Partners made a takeout double or overcalled. Some people don't allow the overcall. Opponents have bid and raised a suit. In other words, it has to be a takeout double. Opponents have bid and raised a suit, and that's sometimes abbreviated opponents bid and raise. And this bid shows two suits. Support doubles, we talked about that a little bit already. That's opener's double. Where is it? It's this one. Okay, showing three-card support for partner's major. You've opened. Partner in third seat has been a major. Your right-hand opponent has come in with some kind of call, and now you double, or if your right-hand opponent has doubled, you redouble to show that support. We talked about stolen bid doubles already a little bit. They're not too popular, but this one is. Lead directing doubles. If the opponent's bid a suit artificially and you make a double, you're asking partner to lead that suit. So, for example, in this very auction right here, let's say the bidding goes one no trump, pass two clubs, that's Stamen, that's an artificial bid. A double now from this seat over here is asking for a club lead. And we talked about the dopey double. That's this one down here. It sometimes has application after strong two club bids. If there's an overcall, I've opened a strong two club bid and my left-hand opponent has overcalled. Partner can also use a version of dopey, doubling being, say for example, a weak hand, and passing being a little bit better hand. Because we now have two more bids available at our discretion. And there are actually quite a few more doubles. I've left out the most important one, which we'll talk about last. That's the penalty double. But there's a double called a maximal or game try double in auctions that go one heart, one spade. One heart, one spade, two hearts, two spades. Now sometimes I just want to compete. I want to bid three hearts and I don't want you to bid four. So I'll just bid three hearts and you'll understand that that's not a game try. I'm not inviting you to four. When I want to make a game try, I'll make a double instead. And there's an interesting double called a snapdragon double. That occurs when the bidding goes suit one, suit two, suit three, and you've got suit four. And you can show the difference between a hand that can tolerate partner suit and one that can't. So for example, a partner, the bidding's maybe got one club, one heart, one spade, and you have diamonds. Partner has bid hearts. If you can tolerate the hearts, then you would make a double to show the fourth suit and the ability for partner to rebid his or her suit if necessary. Whereas when you can't tolerate partner suit, maybe you've got a singleton or void, you would bid the suit outright. You would name the suit. That auction might go one club, one heart, one spade, two diamonds. That would be an example. And the Rosencrantz double. I'll leave that to you to look these doubles up if you're interested. That's it for today.